Well, welcome back. And our show today seems to be centered on children and their needs and making this a better place for children. And I'm delighted to have with me now Haley Speer. And she's here on behalf of Compass of Carolina. And they have a fairly new program here in the upstate called the Rollercoaster program. Thank you for coming, Haley.
Thank you so much for having me, Peggy.
And I think I'll start at the very beginning. What is Compass of Carolina? What is it?
Compass of Carolina is a local nonprofit. We have been around in Greenville since 1919 and changed different shapes to serve the needs of the community. We do individual counseling, couples counseling. We have some educational programs for domestic violence issues. We have a representative payee program, and we're really excited to be offering more programs for young people and for children. And we're really stepping it up on that area.
The family.
Absolutely.
And the need seems to be greater all the time.
Yes.
Yeah. So
so
this roller coaster program deals with children whose parents are going through a divorce.
That's correct.
And the children are sort of out there in the wings, and they don't understand, many of them, what's going on, or they blame themselves. You're a therapist. I'm sure you've seen a lot of this.
Yeah.
Explain.
Well, and I work with adults primarily, and I often see when you get to the root of what's going on with somebody with anxiety or depression as an adult, they often bring up their parents' divorce.
Mm-hmm.
And so the idea here is to help those children during that divorce process or during the remarrying process, which is often really complicated too, and to help them identify what emotions they're feeling. Are they feeling fear, sadness? Do they feel guilty? Do they feel like this is their fault? Are they feeling powerless? Are they feeling confused? To help them identify what they're feeling, learn to express that, and also learn how to cope with it, what to do with it, particularly with a feeling like anger. What do we do with it?
Yeah. And I guess with, divorce, as bad as it is, it's usually the children who suffer more than anyone else.
The whole family has so many losses, and I feel for parents. They're going through their own thing, and what we're saying is, please let us help you. You know, you've got to take care of yourself. Let us help you with your children so your children can express themselves better, so they can tell you what they need, and so they can be sure to know that, one, they're not alone, and that they aren't to blame. They didn't cause this.
Yeah. Now, what age groups are you talking about?
We run this program for 2 different age groups. So right now, my coworker Lisa Plumley, who's a master's level therapist and leads this program, she's doing a group right now with 9 to 12-year-olds. And on August 9th, we'll start up a program for 5 to 8-year-olds. And so the activities, the games, the role plays, the things that are done in group vary a little bit depending on the age group. So 5 to 8 and 9 to 12.
And this is an ongoing program?
Absolutely. So as soon as one 8-week series ends, Lisa gets like a week break, and then she starts another one.
Every week for 8 weeks?
Correct.
One session a week, is that it?
That's correct, on Thursday night.
When you said they realize there are other people in the same situation, it makes it a little easier for the child.
Absolutely. We have a woman who's a wonderful community supporter of Compass of Carolina, and we offered a similar program many years ago, and her daughter's grown now and in college, and she says it meant the world to her to just know she wasn't alone, that other kids were facing the same kind of problem.
So now this is not a free program.
Correct.
What is it, $10 a session?
$10 a session, so once a week, $10 a week, $80 total. What we're really excited about, and I loved your timing for asking us to come and talk about this program, is that we are now available to offer some scholarships to families with financial need, and particularly kids. We focus on a lot of domestic violence issues at Compass, and so particularly kids where they might have witnessed some abuse. We want to be sure that this double whammy of both witnessing abuse and the divorce process is addressed. And so we are able to offer scholarships.
So where do you hold these sessions?
We hold these at our main office, which is 1100 Rutherford Road. So not too far from right here in the studio.
Yeah. And you have trained people, counselors,
correct,
to do this.
Correct. Lisa Plumley is our child and adolescent therapist, and she has a master's degree in community counseling and has been working with children for 4 or 5 years, starting out working with children who'd witnessed domestic violence, and now is working for us, and we just love her. She's great.
How many children do you put in a group?
We don't want a group to get too big.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. So 5 to 8 is usually a good range. We are looking for a volunteer, actually, somebody to join us in just assisting Lisa. To be there if one child needs some individual attention, or with the little 5-year-olds to walk them to the bathroom and things like that.
When you need volunteers, do these people have to have a degree in this, or do they have to be specially trained?
We will do the training with the volunteer.
Okay.
Really just somebody who loves kids, who's interested in this, maybe touched personally by divorce in their family and wants to help these kids out.
We hear so much about families today that are splitting up or have, and all the turmoil that it causes, and it leaves its mark on children, I guess even very young children, because they are not able to comprehend what's going on.
Absolutely, and some of our youngest children are actually the most affected. We're learning more and more about child development. The children of divorce are at risk. They're at risk for withdrawing. They're at risk for becoming overly responsible, mature beyond their years, and not really having a childhood, trying to be perfect and fix things. And they're at risk for acting out and being aggressive and causing trouble in school, maybe doing some bullying. So we want to address this early on so that these kids have the right skills and don't face those
What about
challenges.
the parents? Do the parents get involved in this at all?
Absolutely. We really want support from both parents. We want both parents to agree that, yes, we are invested in our child being healthy and successful, and we agree that this is a good thing. And then at the very last session, actually just recently, made banana splits, and the parents were there to enjoy the treat with their kids, and the kids make a presentation to their parents about what they've learned. And so, yeah, parent involvement is important.
If you can get both parents. So that might not be so easy sometimes.
Well, and one of the other programs at Compass of Carolina is called Children Cope with Divorce, or Transparenting, and the idea there, that's a seminar that we do. Actually, we're doing it on June 23rd. And the point there is to get parents to see that they may not have a romantic relationship anymore, but they do need to be co-parents.
For the sake of the child.
For the sake of the child. Absolutely.
Now, in your experience, have you found that most parents really want to do this?
In my experience, I see that parents really want their children to be successful, and they really want their children to feel like they're safe and not be afraid, and that it takes some learning, and it sometimes takes coming to a seminar or reading a book or going to a counselor, but to get that perspective of, you know what, I'm going to put away my pride, I'm going to put away my judgment, my idea of what's right and who's wrong in this and the fighting and the bickering. I'm going to put that away for the sake of my child. I'm going to get on the high road and do what's right for my child so that they can be healthy. And I do think most parents will do that.
That's wonderful. So this is 8 weeks, once a week.
Yep.
At Compass of Carolina.
Yes.
And if someone out there, some of these children are very small.
Right. So 5 is definitely the youngest that we feel comfortable doing this with. And this is not a program that necessarily, you know, we're in the separation process right now and my kid is 4. Well, there's nothing that says next year, maybe the divorce is finalized next year, but there's nothing to say, hey, Now is time. He's a little older now. She started school now. Now's the time to come into Rollercoasters. And another good time might be when folks are remarrying, because that's also a big change.
Issue for children.
Yeah,
and they can involve resentment.
Yeah, and we address that in Rollercoasters as well. That idea of you've got two homes. How do you cope with that? You may have new relationships and new people in your lives. How do you express what you want, what you need, what you feel related to all these changes?
And it's a great demand sometimes for small children.
It really is.
Even for anybody, but especially for children to accept and understand.
Right. They don't have the thinking skills and the speaking skills that we have, so we have to draw that out of them.
Well, this is, and this really started in Atlanta, this program.
Yes, Families First out of Atlanta developed this curriculum with their experts and social workers and counselors, and they've been offering it for many years. And we have their curriculum and are able to offer it here in Greenville.
Well, it'll be a blessing, I know, to many people, and children have to come first.
Absolutely.
So the website, www.compassofcarolina.org, and it's 864-467-3434. Real easy number.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing with us, and I hope that you have a great outreach.
Thank you.
And if you out there, you think you might want to volunteer, write the number down. They'd be very glad to speak with you. Compass of Carolina, they do a great work, and this is their Rollercoaster program. And Haley Speer, thank you. Thank you for coming. And wherever you are, we need to put our children first, don't we? Sometimes it isn't easy, but it's the thing to do. Stay happy. We'll see you next time.